Hi, it's Paul, and today I'm an old man with my jolly Chinese diesel heater, the Gearlasso 8 kilowatt again, and this is sort of a response to at Alan Hat 5252 and at Skate for Life 80 from yesterday, talking about what it will actually do and what it won't do on the app, on the remote, and on the control panel. Ooh, what's going on there? I've got it in bits. I'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so as far as I can figure out from this, and once again, not connected to the company, not an expert, blah blah blah, just spent a lot of time messing about with this thing, trying to figure it out. And there are, it's easiest to explain on the app. Sorry, quick interjection. The app, the control panel and the remote fob all do exactly the same thing in terms of control. It's just way easier to see it on the app. But there are two methods of running it, AT and MT, and it will come up as AT or MT on the control panel. On here it comes up as manual, which is the hand picture, or automatic, which is a big letter A. With manual, it talks about the gear that it's in, 1 gear up to 10 gear. And basically all that does is it controls the rate that the pump runs at. So once you run it, you will hear the pump click. It will go click, 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 click. And the gear setting controls how fast it clicks, basically, and how quickly it pumps oil. And I just did some very, very basic readings that I make it that level 1 is 56 clicks per minute, up to level 10, which is 69 clicks per minute. Now I only did it, what I basically did, I got a very basic sound level meter app off of the App Store. I'll put a picture of it up here, but it's just called Decibel Meter or something, and on that it gives me an average of the clicks per minute that it can hear through the microphone. So it's sketchy as to how accurate it is, but it seemed to go approximately from 56 to 69. So in manual control, you control how much diesel it pumps into the heater, thus how much heat pumps out of it, thus how quickly your diesel disappears, and blah 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 blah. In automatic mode, it kind of makes its decision. So if I tap that, and we're now on A, it now relates to the temperature that you set. And I saw one of Alan Hat's responses yesterday where he said he felt like the temperature setting set a window, sort of, but the thing is, it never ever turns off unless you turn it off. Sorry, I'll just skip back to manual. In manual control, you turn it on. It runs at whatever setting you have it until you turn it off or it runs out of diesel. Back into automatic control. Automatic control, once you put it into automatic control, if you set the temperature, if it's below that temperature, if the ambient temperature, and the ambient temperature is on the end of the list here, the set temperature of the machine is here, the ambient temperature is over here. And if the ambient temperature is below the set temperature of the machine will run, as far as I can work out, at high volume, at the highest setting, until it reaches that temperature. Once it reaches that temperature, it does not turn off. All it does is reduce the flow rate of the pump. And the thing that Alan Hatt pointed out yesterday was he felt that it didn't even drop it to the lowest level. And I agree with him. I just checked it, and it seems to, again, using the decibel meter app, it seemed to drop down to 57, which is level 2. So to me, that's no good. I want it to turn off. I'm only in a little space here. Yes, it's only temporary. If it's out, when I've got it out in the workshop, it's slightly different. But I'm only in a little space here. And if it runs constantly, even on low temperature, the lowest setting manual, then it just gets too hot in here. So I need it to turn off. I know there are reasons why it's not ideal to turn them off and turn them on and turn them off and turn them on, because they soot up. I'll live with that. That's my decision. I want it to turn off. That is why I have this in pieces, and I have a prototype board here with a couple of ESP32s, and I'm building a system to control this on and off by temperature. But that's another story. Maybe it will work, maybe it won't. But to be clear, manual control, you decide what level it's going to heat at, and it will, you decide what level it will heat at, and it will heat at that level until you change the level or you switch it off. Automatic control, yes, you can set a temperature, but it will never turn off. It only ever goes from high setting to low setting, or a high setting to a low setting. I think it may vary on the high setting, I'm not sure. This place is so small, it gets so hot in here that I can't run it long enough to find out what it's like flat out. But I will try and do it once I get it out in the workshop. Anyway, I think that about covers it. If you've got any questions, chuck them in the comments below, and I will attempt to answer. Other than that, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.